26th of July, Wednesday, 27 minutes to midday. Here's my latest video blog. This is just in relation to the hard fork, which is and all the noise around Bitcoin splitting on the 1st of August. Now, this is from Bitcoin.com's website. It's a public service announcement, and I thought what I'll do is I'll just read this out. I think it's quite interesting to hear what they're going to do in relation to what may happen leading up to the 1st of August. And from what I can gather from this, if everything goes to shit and the SegWit2 doesn't, or actually fails to activate, what's going to happen is Bitcoin.com will immediately shift all its resources towards the Bitcoin Cash coin exclusively, which is the BCC rather than the BTC, which was quite a surprising statement for me, and I think this is quite significant. I don't think anyone needs to panic as such, and I'll give you what I believe could possibly occur and what sort of timeline if it happens. But this is probably the worst case scenario. This would need to be the most dramatic event ever to happen, because it's probably a 1% chance happening. So don't go out and use this as some sort of FUD, because at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to happen. This is just due diligence from the company, putting a public service announcement out there, and I think that's probably a clever thing to do. So I'm going to read it out. Bitcoin.com statement on Bitcoin Cash BCC public service announcement. As we have previously stated, Bitcoin.com believes that behaving with integrity and upholding agreements made is always the proper course of action. As such, we continue to remain committed to supporting the SegWit2 proposal, which has received broad support from Bitcoin industry and community alike. Due to significant demand from our users, the Bitcoin.com pool will give mine, but otherwise Bitcoin.com pool will by default remain pointed at the chain supporting SegWit2 BTC at this stage. We trust that our fellow community members will also behave with integrity and uphold agreements made, but in the unlikely event that the 2 megabyte block size increase portion of SegWit fails to activate, Bitcoin.com will immediately shift all company resources to supporting Bitcoin Cash exclusively. Now, so what they're saying is they're relying on this SegWit, and I think it's Lightning software and everything that they've done to get this into place. I think it's the BIP 91 and some other things. They were required at a network level with the miners and everyone that's involved with Bitcoin to ensure that the blocks run a lot faster and a lot smoother. And that's pretty much the language that all you need to know is how to make Bitcoin a little bit more efficient than it is at this current stage. Now, it's pretty much at a 95% chance of occurring. As far as I could see from the charts, they show that it's all signaling, a lot of it's signaling, and it all looks like that's going to be fine. Now, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a fork on the 1st of August, and what that means is you'll have this Bitcoin Cash, which is the same as Ethereum. I thought it was Bitcoin ABC. I read that somewhere else. Whatever it is, Bitcoin Cash, according to this, will be formed. It's a bit like Ethereum Classic. So it has its own values and has its own protocol and what they want to move forward with. And they'll have their own miners, and there'll be this new altcoin on the markets. And I think there's a few markets that are going to be supporting it. But it's not going to take energy away from Bitcoin in any way. It's not going to take half the coins over or bring Bitcoin down to $0 or anything like that. That's just an illusion. Here's my other video just saving. Bring my head back. Thanks for that interruption of myself. So I don't think anything really major is going to happen. But what they're saying here, in the worst case scenario, that if the world ends for Bitcoin, which is very unlikely, they'll swing over to Bitcoin Cash, because that's where the so-called efficiency will be if SegWit fails. I mean, they have to do something. They can't have Bitcoin running the way it is at the moment, because it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and slower and slower and slower and more expensive to run, and that's not sustainable for the next 10 years. So there's no doubt, at worst case scenario, they'll have to swing over to an alternative until some other solution comes up. And I don't think they've got one yet, except for what the Bitcoin Cash team is putting forward. And I'd have to go and probably just get a better understanding on what that is, because I can't share that with you exactly, because I've been watching other things. So, but I thought I'd share that with you. So in the end, don't panic. I think you should get your Bitcoin out of exchanges and out of third-party hands. If you've got Bitcoin, which I'm not a fan of anyway, if you've got a Bitcoin in some other company and they're holding it, I think you should move it to your own wallets, or put it into an altcoin. It's probably not a bad call. Just find the right one. It might be a bit of a horrible day on August. I'm not too sure. We've seen some of these ups and downs. But if you need to get some advice, maybe go and speak to someone else rather than me. I don't like to give advice. But I think getting your Bitcoin out of the hands of others is probably a pretty good rule. And just get control of that before August 1st. And what I'll be doing is buying some other alts and things that I rely on, and just putting it in my wallet and just putting my helmet on for August 1st and waiting for nothing to happen. And then come August 2nd, I think we'll see that we're all back into the real world and everything will be moving forward. Now, the next thing I wanted to share with you is this. Now, I think this may have had some influence on Bitcoin yesterday, but it sort of snuck under the radar, and this is, I think there's been a lot of talk about derivative trading and these type of things, or you call it paper Bitcoin, I think is probably the best way to look at it. Some people are against it. It's a double-edged sword. I don't like manipulation. I'm against that entire darkness of this entire financial sector, and Bitcoin has that limited supply, and there's a lot of positives to the entire space. Now, what's happened is that a particular Bitcoin platform has been given the green light from the Wall Street regulator, which is the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, has given them a license to use derivative trading for Bitcoin, and some other currencies such as Ethereum and some. I think you'll probably find some altcoins down the track, and obviously that will take some time. They're going to start with Bitcoin. Now, the thing about this is the advantage of this is it's going to bring in a lot of money into the space, I do believe. A lot of hedge funds and those type of things, and probably some other traders and maybe some old school wealth that was a bit unsure of Bitcoin, and they'll have their advisors maybe starting to give this as an option. Probably some of the superannuation or hedge funds and all sorts of different money from different capital and corporate interests, I suppose, is probably the way I look at it. And you may find that we may see billions, if not, well, you could say trillion, but I would start off with millions. Hundreds of thousands, millions, billions of dollars start entering the space within the next 6 months, if this is as true as it is, because this could be the domino effect, and I can see that there will be some other people who want to get their hands on this type of trading and being able to give options to their, I suppose, clients. Anyone that's in the market will know, as soon as people can start making money from some of these type of options, they're definitely going to get involved, which means, guess what, more money into the space. And we could see all our alts and Bitcoin and everything just double very, 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 very quickly. So, yeah, if you're interested in reading a little bit of this, I got this from the marketwatch.com. I'm not going to read it out to you because it's just lingo, but they're essentially just talking about that the license has been approved. And I'm just having a look. It raised about $11 million in funding from groups including Miami International Holdings, China, Blockchain Venture Instruments, and so there's a lot of stuff happening in the back. And having a CFTC approval after about 4 months of rejection, there was a lot of rejections. I think is big news. This is probably the biggest news in crypto space right now. Because it influences the market in a completely new and dynamic way. So feel free to share this around with your friends. Some people won't totally understand it, and I don't totally have all the answers on how it's going to affect the market. All I know is that it's going to open up new trade, new money is going to enter the space. It just has to. that's just what happens when you go and have something approved like this. People are going to start trading on it, and guess what? That's going to open up windows to people who weren't in Bitcoin before. So that's all I wanted to share with you today, was those two little bits of news, and that's all. I'm just going to keep it quiet from there. Thanks for watching, guys. I will do 2 little articles on this. I'll probably take a screenshot of this, put it on my steemit.com with the link to this website. I like doing that, and just making sure it's all transparent and you can have a little bit of a read and do your own due diligence and sort of get an understanding of what's going on. Appreciate all the support. If you've got any news and stuff, feel free to talk to me through my YouTube. I'm a real person. I will reply. So yeah, that's what the whole page is about. It's about communication, sharing info so we all learn together and rise up and be ahead of the game. I think that's what the main objective here is, and we can only do that by sharing with each other, because that's what it's all about. Thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, tune in.